Red Bull had the best all-round car in 2022. They were quick to get rid of porpoising, and on Sundays they always delivered. Can they continue this trend on 2023 or do even better? Today, we're looking at everything released and leaked about the RB19 and what they can improve coming from the RB18 this year. So while competitors were grappling with the porpoising concerns raised by the new car regulations, Red Bull had their own challenges with the RB18 early on. The RB18 is without a doubt one of Red Bull's best chassis in Formula 1, having won 17 races in a 22-race season. It is a remarkable success, considering F1 drastically modified its car design rules in order to make racing more competitive in 2022, which resulted in many teams experiencing porpoising and bouncing at the start of the season. Red Bull appeared to be the only team without any proposed faults, but Max Verstappen said that the RB18 still had some surprise troubles. "We could more or less just focused on weight reduction and performance," he explains. But that weight reduction was really unexpected. So while other teams were solving their porpoising, we were solving our weight. It's very expensive, which is a problem. With a budget cap, when you've already calculated certain upgrades and you suddenly have to shift it to weight reduction, and finding where to do it, it's not the easiest. Pierre Wash, Red Bull's technical director, explains how the newly implemented F1 budget cap rapidly played a factor in their weight loss attempts. "Everything is influenced by that," says the Frenchman. "Compared to what we've done in the past, many parts and ideas are now being questioned. For example, due to the budget cap, you have to ensure that the lifespan of certain parts is extended. You also opt for materials that are cheaper and therefore sometimes heavier. So the budget cap plays a major role. Sometimes you also choose not to develop certain updates because the performance you gain is not at the level that justifies the cost. Due to the new 18-inch wheels and better chassis safety, the minimum weight of F1 cars was raised from 752 kilograms to 798 kilograms as a result of the new technical regulations. The weight increase, though, means they would be roughly 908 kilograms with fuel, making the 2022 cars some of the heaviest in F1 history. Alfa Romeo was the only team to meet the weight requirement, while others, particularly Red Bull, appeared to sacrifice performance for a heavier car. Wash notes that the reason they were overweight at the start of the season was due to the tough title struggle in 2022, which prompted them to convert to RB18 development late. The fact that we didn't put enough resources into the car, and also maybe our interpretation of some of the new FIA tests, affected us more than some of the other teams, such as the load on the chassis, he says. When asked how much Red Bull are over the weight limit, he revealed it was close to 20 kilos at the beginning of the season. Wash stated that it is far more difficult to pinpoint areas where you can lose weight because it does not always correlate with improved performance. There are different aspects to it. You have certain areas of the car that are simply heavier. In addition, you also have other parts that are heavier but are easier to work on. If you replace those parts because they reach the end of their lifespan, you can replace them with a lighter part. So it doesn't have to cost a lot of extra money. Some parts of the car, especially the floor, we make it heavier on purpose because we thought it might be destroyed on the curbs. Then, when we know how the car behaves on track, it gives us the possibility to reduce the weight, which was an easy and very cheap weight reduction. But if you look at Alfa Romeo, they were immediately at the minimum weight at the beginning of the year. In the end, they did need to add an extra mounting bar on the floor, while our floor was rigid enough and no longer needed it. Mercedes also had the floor stay, but our floor was heavier than theirs in terms of weight. Given the RB18's success in 2022, Wash's explanation that there is still a lot more free lap time to be obtained from any greater weight decrease next season may surprise the competition. This year, the updates focused mainly on the weight, but also on the aerodynamic performance of the RB18, he explains. Wash confirms the car is still overweight, and when asked if they're over by a ballpark figure of 3 kilos, he responded, "No, more." The media asked Wash, 12? "Could be," responded Wash. "In any case, the car is still substantially too heavy. We can still improve on that next year. The other teams are much closer to the limit, so there's a lot of free lap time, as we could call it." Adrian Newey also commented on Red Bull's RB19 plans and has revealed Red Bull's car design philosophy for the 2023 season, which the team hopes will allow them to defend both championship titles. According to Adrian Newey, Red Bull will stick with their current car design concept for the 2023 season. Red Bull's RB18 emerged into one of the most dominant cars in recent years after starting the season marginally behind Ferrari. This season, the Milton Keynes team won 17 of 22 Grand Prix, on way to the Drivers' and Constructors' Championships. Their supremacy has called into doubt rival teams' car designs, as well as whether competitors would seek to Red Bull's design for inspiration. When asked about Red Bull's design strategy for 2023, Chief Technical Officer Nui confirmed that the team will stick with its existing approach. "We will continue to develop our concept because we know it's best," Nui told media. "But I don't dare say whether our way is the best way. It's quite possible that someone else will turn the corner with a better idea." Despite the 2022 rule changes, Red Bull has impressed many by competing in back-to-back title battles. The change in technical regulations has resulted in greater variance in car design than expected, according to Nui, indicating additional design options ahead. "It means that none of us is absolutely right, and there must be something better," added Nui. "You can never isolate things like wings or the side pods. Everything only works as a package. A Ferrari sidebox will not fit our underbody and vice versa. There's always an interaction between these elements." Nui also noted that major design breakthroughs can occur at any time, citing the 2009 double diffuser example. "We all don't know yet where we'll end up bumping up against as we develop our own concepts," commented Nui. "Maybe another one has much greater development potential that's still trailing today. Think about the double diffuser. That loophole in the transition from the floor to the step was always there. It just hadn't been discovered by anyone." Red Bull's development of the RB19 had long started before the end of the season, but they have been able to test and gather valuable data after the last Grand Prix of the season. Following the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, Formula One teams took part in the Pirelli tyre test for 2023 at the Yas Marina circuit, where a number of rookies were also in action for the young driver test. The Red Bull Racing team enters the winter break satisfied, knowing that the data gathered will be put to good use in the development of the next car. On Tuesday, Red Bull's Liam Lawson competed in the young driver test, while Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez shared the second vehicle. All three drivers tried out the new Pirelli tyres for 2023, which had been modified following the extended practice sessions in Austin and Mexico. However, the team were able to collect data ahead of time for the new 2023 car. Everyone within the team is fully aware that there is no room for complacency, and as such, we headed into the test with a full program across both cars, which we were able to complete successfully. With the benefit of a thorough understanding of the RB18, the drivers focused their attention on evaluating the 2023 tyres. Gianpiero Lambiase begins in Red Bull's press release. For Liam, the higher priority was his ongoing familiarization of the car and team's operation trackside, particularly important in respect to correlation to our simulation tools, which he's an integral part of. "It has been an extremely valuable day with plenty of data to go back and analyze over the coming days, which we can feed into the development of next year's car," says Verstappen's engineer. "Test days for the new car will be in February of next year, showing us what all the engineers have been able to do over the course of the winter. Will Red Bull return to the grid in full force, or will Mercedes and Ferrari play catch-up? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you've enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next one.